Hello fans, Film Recaps here. Today we are going to cover a 2019 comedy, crime thriller film called Burn. The movie begins with a man shouting in a store, telling whoever is hiding there not to mess with him. After the introduction of the movie, Melinda, who works at a gas station, is seen driving to her workplace on a snowy night. She parks her car and sees a man smoking near the gas pump. She approaches him and tells him politely to stop smoking near the pump as it could put the lives of people in and out of the station on fire. The guy rudely responds to her and she leaves him to do his business. She enters her workplace to start her shift and is greeted by the grumpy Sheila. Sheila is the lady on the shift before hers. Melinda changes to her work clothes and sees a customer having trouble with pistachios. She helps him out and proceeds to clean the men's bathroom. In the middle of doing so, she stares at her photo album of a man she probably has a crush on. A man enters the bathroom to ease himself. Things get uncomfortable as he sees her there. They resolve the issue and the man uses the bathroom. The next scene shows Melinda making coffee for another customer. Although she seemed to be sticking her hand into the hot coffee and felt no pain. She finishes her other business and gets to the shopping area. Sheila is seen doing some dance with her body. Meanwhile, a car was seen outside, parking close to Sheila's. Inside the store, Sheila films Melinda doing the same embarrassing dance and teases her about posting it online. Just then, a senior man walks in to see Sheila. He brought some padded insoles for her shoes due to her aching feet. Melinda collects the gift, hoping Sheila would receive the gift. Unsurprisingly, Sheila rejects the gift and throws it at his face. Feeling sad for the old man, Melinda goes outside to help the old man feel better. She says that his insoles fit her shoes perfectly, thinking he'd be thrilled, but the efforts are futile. Just then, a handsome man walks out of the vehicle parked near Melinda's and greets Melinda at the store entrance. As the two exchange an awkward conversation, a cop drives and parks outside the store. Flustered, the man walks into the store and pretends to be interested in buying something. The policeman and Melinda, who know each other, exchange pleasantries with Melinda asking him if that was his new car. He says no and she asks him for a ride. They both get inside the car and Melinda asks him to drive her around the block. He refuses Melinda's request, stating that he needed to stay on schedule this time around. Inside the convenience store, Sheila is seen attending to the handsome man. She notices him standing around like a confused person and asks him what he wants. He says he wants condoms. The man teases Sheila a bit and buys some illicit drugs. The man pays and asks Sheila to keep the change. He then proceeds to the bathroom when he notices the cop entering the store. Officer Lou and Sheila exchange pleasantries in a weird way. Sheila catches Melinda taking pictures of Officer Lou without his knowledge and confronts her about it. Unfortunately for Melinda, her phone falls off her hands and breaks. Officer Lou inspects the broken phone and tells Sheila to stop attacking Melinda. Just immediately, the officer is informed of an armed white male driving around that area in a stolen gray sedan. Officer Lou sprung up to action to start his patrol of the area. Sheila yanks Melinda's phone out of her phone and finds out about the album she has of Officer Lou. Sheila makes a mockery of Melinda, which forces her to cry and go for a smoke and wash. After doing her business, Melinda walks out of the bathroom and sees the handsome man with a gun. He asks Melinda to join Sheila near the counter. He explains his ordeal to the girls. Sheila doesn't buy any of his stories about him losing his temper and owing people money. He asks them about all the money in the gas station and Sheila tells him they don't have the money in the safe, the manager does. The handsome man then tells Sheila to pack all the money in the register in the bag he gave her. She insults him and tells him all that's there is his change. Just as she was about packing all the money in the bag, Melinda offers to get him more money from the safe in the back. Sheila immediately recoils at Melinda's behavior. The man gives Melinda the bag and she proceeds to empty the safe, leaving Sheila and the handsome criminal in the store. Just then, a father and his daughter walk in to get something and the man warns Sheila to act natural or else he'd harm everyone in the store. Meanwhile, Melinda is at the back checking herself out for some apparent reason. In the store, the man and his daughter get what they came for and proceed to pay in cash. Sheila tells him that there's no change in the register. He proceeds to pay with his credit card. He then asks Sheila for directions to Redwood. She writes some directions on a piece of paper, secretly writing the man and his daughter to call 911 when they get outside. Before handing over the paper, Melinda comes in and squeezes the paper out of Sheila's hand. She gives the man the right directions. The man and his daughter leave the store and Melinda asks the criminal if she could follow him. He refuses and proceeds to leave the store after yanking the bag out of Melinda's hands. Just then Sheila mocks him for bullying the two of them. The man gets angry and pulls Sheila to the ground. He tells Melinda to lock the door as he pulls Sheila to a room in the back. As he was trying to harass Sheila, Melinda goes to the store and pulls out hot coffee. She reached the room where the harassment was going on and poured hot coffee on the handsome man's face. The man accidentally shoots Sheila and is knocked out by Melinda with a fire extinguisher. When he came to, Melinda was already cleaning up the crime scene. She had already wrapped up Sheila's body and tied up the handsome criminal. He asks Melinda why she is cleaning up and tries to struggle his way to freedom. Just then, Melinda pulls him up and looks at him without saying one word. When she finally talked, she asked him why he didn't want her to come with him when she asked him. Surprised, the man answers that he has no idea who she is and all he wanted was to pay the bikers their money back. He tells Melinda that they know about his robbery attempt in the store and that they'd look for him if he doesn't get the money to them on time. She still insists on being his accomplice. The handsome man sees this as an opportunity and talks his way to freedom. He pretends to like her and says she could come with him if she wanted. After several failed attempts, he admits that he didn't believe she was going to come with him. He says the only reason why she'd be that interested in coming with him was that she may be unhappy with her life to throw away her freedom. Melinda talks about how interesting her job is and assures the man in an unconvincing way that she loves her life. After listening to her talk, the tied-up criminal says he wants a cigarette. She offers him one. He then complains about the pain he feels on his face, where she poured the hot coffee. She caresses his face. Repulsed, he asks if he could be given some painkillers or something. She proceeds to the store to get the painkillers. In the store, a man is seen knocking on the doors desperately. She ignores him and gets a drug for the handsome man to use. She gets to the room where he is and gives him the drug to use. He continues his negotiation with her and fails yet again. Melinda asks him if having a boyfriend would be a hindrance to them getting out of town. He says yes. Melinda then asks him about his aching head. She then proceeds to give him another dose of the painkiller. He takes it and feels drowsy. Just then, Melinda tells him that she knows he's lying about taking her with him and proceeds to make love with him without his consent. Luckily for the man, he frees himself. Blindfolded, he listens for Melinda's sound so he could knock her out and escape. Melinda remains silent. Confused, the handsome criminal knocks himself out. Melinda grabs his gun and leaves him and Sheila's body in the room. She also grabs the money bag as well. As she was about to get out of the store, she saw the man who's been knocking on the door. She opens the door, the man practically runs in and proceeds to get some hot coffee. As he browses their drinks section, Melinda is at the back trying to take her life with the gun she picked from the handsome criminal. Just then, the man notices her crying and tries to tell her he just needs some coffee. She tells him to just pick what he wants and move out of the store. He pays for the drunk and walks out of the store. Just as she's about to dial 911, Sheila's boyfriend walks into the store to give his girlfriend a ride home. He asks about the whereabouts of Sheila and Melinda says she doesn't really know where she went. He dials Sheila's number only for her phone to ring under an aisle in the store. Surprised, he asks Melinda what Sheila's phone is doing on the ground. He says she literally can't do without her phone. After much pressure from the boyfriend, Melinda is forced to tell a lie. She says Sheila followed a guy to a motel and that they were touchy-feely with each other. When asked anxiously about the appearance of the guy, Melinda says she didn't get his face. Angry at his girlfriend, Sheila's boyfriend makes his way to a motel down the road heartbroken. As soon as Sheila's boyfriend leaves, Melinda walks to the back of the store, touching the ground outside as if she were looking for something. She makes her way to the gas stand in front and picks up a shovel. Just then, some bikers arrive on their bikes and demand they get what they want in the store. Just as they are about to force their way in, Melinda pulls out a familiar gun. Almost immediately, all the others pull out their guns as well. Their leader immediately orders them to put their guns down. The bikers leave and Melinda runs in to break into an electronic device in a small cage. After many failed attempts, she goes out of the store for a smoke. Just then, she has an idea. She goes back into the store, gets some jerry cans, and starts filling them with gasoline. When full, she goes back into the store and packs the money bag and the jerry can. Before she could finish her packing, Officer Lou comes into the store armed. Alarmed, Melinda puts her hands up. He asks if she knew about the stolen vehicle parked near her car outside. She says she doesn't. Officer Lou then asks if he could check out the cameras around the store. Just then, Melinda tries to stall the officer by telling him she doesn't have access to the camera room. Just then, Officer Lou asks who has access. Melinda responds by telling her Diana has access. He then calls Diana and orders her to come back to work. After the call, Melinda tells him she remembers someone suspicious. She mentions someone who looked suspicious. She says he came in a green Jeep and went to a motel down the road. He says he is going to check out the motel before coming back to check on the tapes. He's about to make a quick sweep around the store when Melinda stops him. He asks her if she's fine and she answers him with tears that she is fine. He says he cares about Melinda and Melinda says he doesn't have to be sweet to her for the first time. At a loss for words, Officer Lou makes his way to sweep the premises. He checks everywhere and everywhere looks good to him. As he's about to proceed out of the store, he gives Melinda his card and assures her she can call him directly if she needs anything. Officer Liu leaves the store and Melinda moves to the back of the store to check things out with the handsome criminal. She carefully inspects the back section of the store. Satisfied at the looks of things, she goes right back in, picks up the jerry that can be filled with gas, and pours it all around the store. After filling the entire store with gas, she hangs the backpack filled with money and picks up the gun. Just as she's about to leave the station, she hears something moving at the back of the corridor. Before she knows it, the lights go out. She bends down to hide from the handsome criminal. After much pressure, she reveals her location to the criminal, who demands she give him the backpack before he does something he'd regret again. Just as he's about to attack her, Sheila's boyfriend arrives at the store and knocks on the door. Melinda tells him the door can't open due to the power outage. Just then, the handsome criminal walks out of the store and tells him about the entire ordeal. He blames the entire event on Melinda, who denies the allegations. Just as Sheila's boyfriend rages over the news of his girlfriend being shot, the criminal springs up behind him and strangles Sheila's boyfriend to death. After finishing him off, he gets the keys from the pockets of his pocket. The criminal drives Sheila's boyfriend's car and rams it into the store. He confronts Melinda about running away with the money and trying to take advantage of him. Melinda tells him that the cops are already on their way. The two have a heated conversation and the man proceeds to shoot Melinda. He pulls the trigger and the gun lights on fire. He drops the gun and the entire store starts burning. The criminal's body erupts in flames and Melinda manages to extinguish the flames on her body. She escapes the store in time and is saved by Officer Liu. In the heat of things, Officer Liu tells her he should have stayed with her that night. Melinda sees he's telling the truth and is questioned about what really happened in that store.